Hi everyone, my name is Jess and today I'm going to talk to you about the journey from becoming an ISR to an AE and some of the things you may struggle with. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button below. It would help me out a lot and I'll continue to bring you great content every single week. All right, let's dive right into it. I'm not going to spend too much time giving you a introduction to this, but if you are an ISR inside sales and you want to one day go outside, or maybe this video is you just went on the outside and you are struggling deeply. Well, I want to give you an idea, at least for the first year, some of the struggles that I see ISRs, and that's the terminology I'll use today, inside sales rep. When I see an ISR go to the outside, they are under the impression that they're already doing the account executive job very well from the inside, and it will be a very smooth transition. Probably 9 out of 10 times I see that that is not the case. There is immense change in going to the outside. It is not one-to-one, especially if you're in a large organization. And what I'm about to share with you, the 10 kind of pitfalls or review before you go ahead and take this job. This is what you're probably going to experience in that first year. So number one would be face-to-face interactions. Majority of inside folks do email, heavy admin, going through all the tools, and they don't really have those face-to-face exposures unless at an event. And even that, I see a lot of people, even at Dell, when they are at an event, they're kind of shy on the side and they're not really socializing and they're not really practicing. So if you are an ISR and you are looking to get on the outside, events is a great place to start. Practice that face-to-face interaction, the small talk that some people are uncomfortable with, but you need to be very good at when you're in sales. Start practicing that. If you find you're levitating at these events towards your colleagues or manager, you might need to wait a little bit before you go on the outside because you really need to practice those face-to-face interactions. Number two that I see a big struggle happen is time management. Because when you're on the inside, you have all the time in the world in front of your computer to get everything done. When you are managing your time of travel and on the road, sometimes I'm traveling 4 hours in the car to get to one customer, to do that one meeting, and then 4 hours back. That is so new territory for an inside salesperson that you are gonna just have to learn this skill. It's nothing you can really prepare for, but you're gonna have to figure out, how can I do my job in the 8 to 9 hours a day, Monday to Friday, with traveling 4 hours? Is there different tools that you're gonna start to use? Are you gonna build in phone calls in those 4 hours to make sure that you are being productive? Because if you are just driving and you are not doing any type of work in those 4 hours, it's not going to work as an AE. You need to, AE, account executive, you're going to need to manage that time, and that's just something you're going to have to learn as you practice, and you're not going to get it the first 6 months, unfortunately. Now, number three is objection handling. Don't come for me, the business development representatives, and say I'm really good at objection handling. I do it through email or phone all the time. Objection handling in person is totally different. You need to be quick on your feet. You need to be thinking. You need to be working with your body language, not to be defensive, working with the client. And objection handling in person, totally different. I'm very good at objection handling over email, over phone. I'm quick, I'm witty, but sometimes you can be completely thrown off guard. You need to practice objection handling in person. I can't stress this enough, that it's just going to take time and practice in person, but something to look out for when you are going from the inside to the outside. Now, number four would be managing the territory dynamics. If you're working in a large organization, most likely if you have one account, there will be numerous specialists on that one account. Even for me at Dell, I am a specialist, so I am on someone's territory as an account executive. And being able to manage the territory dynamics of who's already within that account, who's already in that territory, who already has the relationships, you will need to learn how to manage that. When you're on the inside, that kind of just gets managed for you, right? You just have people emailing you, kind of telling you what to do, getting you organized. Sometimes ISRs are a little bit more taking the responsibility and working that out. But when you go on the outside, it's very different. Sometimes customers won't even want to see you, that they already have those relationships within the territory with another overlay. So that's something to look out for, especially if you're new to the territory. That may be a struggle with you as well. Number 5, this one is huge. They're so, again, if you're watching through this video and it's around 6 minutes now or 5 minutes, this one may hurt. The people that are 20 years older than you, that get paid more than you, and you're like, well, I'm better than that person. I am faster, I'm better, I have the technical knowledge. Well, number 5 is all about network and building that network around you. Someone that's 20 years older than you is gonna have 20 more years of experience and most likely a 20-year network, right? When you go from company to company as an account executive, you kind of build that network out and the industry knows you and is excited to work with you. If you're a brand new account executive, you have nothing. You don't have these networks. You can't just pick up the phone and call a customer that you've worked with for the last 10, 20 years. You have to start fresh. And no matter what, this might be a damper for some ISRs, but you're gonna have to build that network and it takes years. It doesn't take 6 months, it doesn't take 1 year. You will have to build that. And that is why some of those people are getting paid more than you for the same level or for the same responsibilities, is they already have that pre-built network. They're able to call a customer right up and share what they're selling. And that customer will give an audience. So again, when you think about becoming a new AE, you got to pay your dues. You have to start somewhere and it's just going to take time. So don't get stuck on that, because I see a lot of ISRs getting stuck on, well, I have a network, I've done this, and unfortunately you don't yet, and you're going to get there. Don't worry, you will get there and it's going to be beautiful, but you do need to start somewhere. Now, number 6 would be product knowledge. Learning the product knowledge on the inside is great. I can have documentation, I can have notes, I can have paper, I can quickly pull up something that the customer is talking about, and within a matter of seconds, I can have ChatGPT give me everything I need to know about product knowledge. Or internal at your organization, you can pull up white papers and product things, and you can read, and you can look like you know what you're doing. But when you're in person, your product knowledge or your lack of product knowledge really stands out to customers, that either, wow, Jess, you know what you're talking about, or what is going on in this meeting? What just happened? So it's so important to make sure that your product knowledge is to a minimum to have a 15 to 20 minute technical conversation in person without any notes, without opening up your computer or even sharing a deck. Because this is, if you listen to anything today, this is the most important, is to know your brief and know what you're talking about when you are talking to a customer. Bring use cases, bring examples, and it will help you so much more. Now, in segue of that, number 7 would be, you need to adapt your sales technique. Most of the time when I was on the inside, like I mentioned before about product knowledge, I could quickly pull up things and pretend I knew a lot more than I did. And so your sales technique is going to change from your, I'll call it out, your physical appearance to your attitude, your body language, your tone, your hangout factor. Just everything that makes you you and likable to a customer is going to change, because you're now in front of them using your full body to sell. And that sounds very weird, but scrap that. Using your full environment to sell. Everything from touching to explaining to hand gestures, everything like that is visible to the customer. And so you're gonna have to adapt that when you go in face to face. Number 8 would be, you are going to be so much more independent than when you were an ISR. When you're an ISR, there are KPIs and your leader wants to know what you're doing in front of your desk for those 8 hours a day. Are you hitting those daily KPIs? Are you following up with the leads that I gave you? There's so much more micromanagement when you're on the inside, and when you flip to the outside, it's almost like, here's the keys, go ahead, try to be successful, You're being paid to be independent. You're being paid to handle this. So go and do this. And that's a huge struggle because someone that was an ISR that's maybe a little bit junior that goes on the outside is used to that hand holding. Here's how to map out your territory. Here's what you're going to do. And when you go on the outside, you're now responsibility to manage your territory. You are now responsible to have that independence of how you want to drive business within your territory, and your leader is not going to do that for you. They may coach you and may help you, but I've seen time and time again that that's not the case, and that is one of the biggest struggles is handing over the keys to an ISR, to an outside sales territory, and say, good luck. So watch out for that, have a plan, have mentors. You are responsible to lead that territory and get to it. And number 9 would be, I think, admin. So the admin doesn't go away. We're telling people from the inside, hey, you need to go create this proposal or these quotes. The admin is challenging. It's still very challenging for me when I'm on the road and I need to come back and I don't want to work late hours. It's just not in my work-life balance to work late hours. So how do I do all this admin, go on the road, do my trip reports, and that's another discussion, what a trip report is. But how do I get all that done in a matter of a week? That's a huge challenge, still a challenge for me. The organization skill that you need to have to master the admin part of an account executive job and making sure that you follow up on meetings and say what you're gonna do and go, actually move forward with it is challenging. It's not easy, but you need to be leveraging different software tools to make sure that that part is successful. And lastly, pressure. I think pressure kind of encompasses everything that I've talked about today, which is, face-to-face, time management, admin, sales technique, learning the product knowledge, being independent. All of these create a massive amount of pressure for new ISRs or ISRs that became new account executives. The pressure is a lot, and the biggest thing is don't crumble during that pressure. Take the time, pause. If things are too difficult, you need to ask for help. You need to figure out what's not working and take baby steps, because you're not going to master all of these things. And these things, I just wanted to make you aware of some of the challenges that you're going to go through at least the first year of becoming a new account executive, and know that it's not easy, but guess what? We all get there. And it's been a lot of fun going from inside sales for me to outside sales. Some people, it's a little bit more natural. They like to be in front of people. And with some others, it's a challenge. You may challenge with all 10 or 5, but again, we all get there and we all get through it. Don't take yourself too seriously. It's just a job and you're gonna get there. If you like this type of sales content, feel free to give me a thumbs up. Comment below what you liked, what you didn't, and I will see you next week. Take care.